where you're kind of just making the best of a situation with your Gen Pop face-to-face client, because it's just like they're not willing to make these wholesale kind of lifestyle changes. You could never take that mindset to online. Like I just don't, you know, especially with the fact that I'm working with someone who's like, I want to look the best I ever have.
Yep.
Then it's like, you have to hold yourself to this standard and you got to squeeze as much out of them as physically possible, even if they don't think you can squeeze anymore.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like all the years of like doing the coaching face-to-face was good for us.
Yeah.
Because we could communicate in a way that like, it was kind of like last week, you know, someone's like, they look the best they've ever looked, but it's still not good enough.
Yep.
For the pursuit that they're trying to go for.
Yep.
You and I have the skill to say that in a way that makes someone feel hungry, not defeated.
Agreed. Yeah.
You know, and I think that is part of the process.
Yeah.
It's like being results driven and pushing people to their limit, but being able to communicate to them that like there's another level that they need to go to, but they absolutely have the capability of doing it.
Yeah. And I look at even the girls from the weekend, there's 2 of them that I've pulled aside at different times have been like,
this isn't good enough.
You need to start acting like an athlete.
Yeah. And how many people are willing to have that conversation? It's awkward. They want to avoid it. But it's your job, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the notes I had. I wrote the notes for this morning. One of them was like, it's funny. I just wrote, we're going to talk about like coaching athletes. And the only point that I made to write down was like, you need to be able to have tough conversations. Yeah. If you're a people-pleasing coach, you can't getting people to the standard that you need. Yeah. It's not going to work.
There's a lot of difficult conversations I've had over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like some I'm not going to share them.
Of course.
But it was like, it was tough.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah.
You know, but it was, and even this year, like just because I want to take everyone to that next level.
Yeah.
You've got to sit there and go, hey man.
Yeah.
This is where you're doing great, but this is where we're falling short.
Yeah. I've had all of those tough conversations are always, especially post-event, like, thank you for believing in me more than I did.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing me that I could, or pulling me back into line or making me refocus. There's always a thank you. It's like, I needed that at the time.
Yep.
Even if they're shitty at it in the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
And I think operating from fear in business is hard.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of them didn't talk to me for a week. Week and a half. Just fucking, I was like, well, this will go either way.
Need time to decompress.
Yeah.
Yep.
And came back and smashed prep from that point on and had a perfect day.
Yeah. Well, I'm more willing to have that conversation and for it to go either way than to just people please someone and just not have the control that you need to have to be the best coach you can because you're tiptoeing around that person to please them.
Yeah.
Because you can't get the most out of them if you can't apply things the way you want to apply them.
Yeah.
So if you're like this people pleasing, I would much rather just be like, look, man, you need to lift in these areas. And it's like, granted, like this is where I'm falling short and I'll lift in this department. If they don't want to hear that conversation, it's like, you're not going to make it anyway.
Yeah.
Like you don't have the mentality to be an elite athlete.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do things the way that we do it here, coaching wise, then this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So I think there's a tremendous amount of value that comes with having the confidence to have that conversation. And I feel like it's just how you have it too.
I think that I leverage that I'm okay, you're okay thing so much.
Yeah.
So much.
And you don't come at it, I don't know, you just don't come at it with like conflict as like the main.
No.
If you can maturely sit there and go, how do I get the best outcome for the athlete in this conversation?
Yeah.
That conversation is totally different to, I need to tell this person all of the things that they're fucking up.
Yeah, because I'm upset and feel insecure.
Yeah, and I need to get them.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing to do. Like, I'm not perfect at it, and it's taken a lot of time. And I feel like business has helped me a lot. Like, going into something and being like, how do I get the best out of this for whoever I'm doing?
Yeah.
Be it a pitch or be it a networking thing or a project or whatever, or sometimes even just like, this is something that someone's fucked up and we're not happy.
Yeah.
Rather than going at them and telling them all the shit that they do wrong. It's like, it just makes it worse, right? So I think over time, you kind of like learn these communication skills to be able to have these tough conversations, but always in a manner that's productive and it's positive.
Because the negative emotion is going to come, It's either going to come at the deadline where the client's upset because they squatted high or they had a bad day or they whatever, like the event didn't go the way that they wanted it to. In your case, they don't have the look that they need.
Yeah.
So that's going to come.
Yeah.
Either when you have the conversation, they can have their feelings hurt, or they can have their feelings hurt when they don't deliver the outcome that you've been hired to do. And I would much prefer to have their feelings hurt a little bit earlier.
Yeah, agreed. From
a place of, again, like compassion, best interest of the client at heart. And that's why I said, like, I use the I'm okay, you're okay thing. But the most recent one was just like, you could be really good at this. If you don't want to and you just want to do it for fun, I'm not going to put any pressure on you.
No problems.
That is totally fine. If you want to be good at this is what you need to do. So you come back to me, let me know what your standards are, and I'll adhere to those standards. And it was like, you're right. I've been fucking around. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's like, cool. But if the reality is, if the answer was, I just want to have fun powerlifting, dude, like, relax. Okay, sweet. I'm cool with that. Like, it's fine.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really powerful position to be in. And it's the easiest place to come from to get yourself there. Stops the, I'm insecure that I'm not doing a good enough job, or this client's going to make me look bad, or this is like all the shit that then gets in your head that you just unload on a client. It's stepping back and being like, I'm totally fine if you want to do this, but you need to be aware you're doing it and tell me you're okay with it.
Yeah.
If you're not okay with it, this is what needs to happen instead. And that puts you in a real position of an ability to communicate well with the other person and a position of strength that you're not judging them, you're not attacking them. It's literally just like, this is what do you need? What's your, my best interest is you. What else comes to mind in terms of being able to have athletic population? Because I think we both have a majority book of athletic population, whether they compete or not.
Yeah. I think it's like no matter what you do, you have to hold yourself to a standard that you expect of other people. So where, like, you don't necessarily, like, I don't have to be a competitive bodybuilder to attract someone with the mentality to do competitive bodybuilding, but I'm the type of person that if I say something, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yep.
I have the discipline to show up and, like, you know, adhere to my routine. If I make a mistake, I'll definitely, like, you know, put my hand up and be like, yep, it's not a nice feeling to do and I hate doing it, but it's like, yep. So I think if you operate your life in a way that expresses your values and, yeah, is like kind of a similar, because like these people come because they have the same values as you.
Yeah.
So if you operate in a way that it's an expression of that, that is how you attract more.
Yeah.
Because you can see it, because there's some of the best coaches in the world don't do the thing, but they have all of the athletes.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, they either have to be exceptionally good at the job. Again, operate in a way that people respect.
Yep.
Or a combination of both of those things. And obviously have the runs on the board.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big one, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything else, because if you're good at your job, you got the proof of it.
Yeah.
You're a good communicator. You live it.
Do you think you have to live the sport to be able to coach in the sport? It's like you've coached powerlifting.
I sit with this.
Competitors.
I sit with this a lot because I can confidently sit here and say I can coach powerlifting most likely to the highest level.
Yep.
Because it's programming, it's assessment of technique, there'd definitely be some things I would lean on you for in the start, but I reckon I could crack the nut.
Yep.
But I haven't done a powerlifting meet. I've tested my squat, bench, and deadlift, but I haven't done it 3 times, and you know, and then go on to another lift and do it again. I've only done it once.
Yeah.
So yeah, I that's where I'm like, I kind of sit there and I go, you maybe don't. Is it easier? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have tools in your toolbox that those coaches don't have? I absolutely believe in that, because I've said it before.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think you'd probably be at an advantage to others, but I don't think it would be that distinct of an advantage that it would noticeably separate people. And then I also think that for those people who, let's just say for argument's sake, one of my clients is like, hey, I want to do powerlifting and I trust that you can do it. I would just consult for the experience I don't have.
Agreed. Yeah.
but I have the awareness to do that.
Yeah.
Where there's probably people out there that don't have the awareness to consult for the experience that they lack.
Yep.
And that's where you'll see people get found out.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like I'm supremely confident. I'll probably have 2 competitors next year.
Yeah, and
supremely confident that I'll deliver a great result, because if I don't know, I'm just gonna be like, hey.
Yeah, and I think that you'll lean on me the most in the last month.
100%. Yeah.
And that's it.
Getting someone 6 weeks out, I've been doing that for 10 years.
Yeah, and it's like just the awareness of like how hard you can push someone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same for me. Jeez, it is howling down.
Is wild.
And that would be the same for me.
Yeah.
Like it's just like probably the peaking scenario. I'd be like,
yeah,
this is what I'm going to do. What do you think? And then we would just consult. So that would be the best way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think from a powerlifting standpoint, I think it's more making progress between comps. Like the peak is the peak. Yeah, you can win some, lose some inside that.
Yeah.
But really, it's the off season. Being able to look into a lifter and be like, what do they need for the next 6 to 12 months to get them?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest challenge from a physique standpoint is actually the eye.
Yeah.
So it's knowing.
It's the eye.
What does A and B bikini look like?
Yeah, it's the eye, and then it's like making sure that what they're doing in their off season is they're moving in a way that's building the muscle that you need to put on.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like we're good at, I would say I'm good at movement. I'm good at training. I'm good at whatever. But like to look at like my client right now who's like, we've just done like a test. We're doing a photo shoot to see where we go for next year. To look at her and be like, okay, I'm going to look at you and stand next to Gemma, who came second in bikini. And I'm like, you're probably maybe a bit bigger. I was tall.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we need? And then what's the standard of that category that for the next 6 months we have to really focus on? And then I think, from the same, it's like watching a lifter on a platform.
Yeah, it's like what
happened. Yeah. Because you don't see it until the day, honestly.
Of course.
Like, there's cues, there's tells, and it's actually worse when you see it 6 weeks out. Because you can't do anything. It's too late.
Of course, there's no improvement
like,
on it.
Okay.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. So seeing it on the platform's like, all right, this is, we actually
that's going to be the ultimate test of their capabilities, right?
Yeah.
So if you have the eye to see what breaks down, then you've got literally the best data and information to fix it.
Yeah. And the fun thing about powerlifting is like when you chase one thing, it breaks something else.
Of course.
That's why people stay. It sounds so boring to just do 3 lifts for years. But like as soon as you fix one thing, that'll create a weakness somewhere else.
Right.
So both my girls, I was like, okay, we need to change your deadlifts like this. And they both hitched. I'm like, because we fixed you off the floor.
Somewhere else.
Arguably, sure, it's positional off the floor, but it's like you are now in a position that you don't know what to do when you get here. And we need to fix that. So it's like...
Yeah, it's like renovating a house. You rip a wall down and then there's another problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the next comp, it's like, okay, so we make sure that we don't hitch, but then you're strong enough to complete that lift, but you can't get the next number off the floor. Oh, we're back to off the floor work. It's,
Yeah, okay. I can still do it, but...
Definitely. There's no doubt. Like,
I'm kidding.
If you're good at programming, you're good at movement, I think you can do either.
Absolutely.
And like you said,
and you got good nutrition as well.
You just borrow influence from somewhere else.
Yeah, you can. This day and age, you can leverage other people's experience so well. So easy to do like a Zoom or whatever with someone who's smarter than you, has more experience than you, and get their idea of how you do it.
And even just like being willing to break even.
Yeah.
Like travel, go to the show, go to the comp, hire the person, do all the things. And even if you look at that client over the 6-month period that you prep them for, you make no money.
Yeah, that's the one thing we didn't actually mention is like investment. Like the last 6 weeks cost me $5,000.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, backstage passes, entry fees, accommodation, flights, food.
Yep.
Training at certain gyms, catching Ubers to like $50 Uber there and back to the gym.
Yeah.
So it's like, Ubers to and from the airport.
Yeah.
Parking, 5K.
Yeah.
But it's like,
but that's one client.
Yeah, not even.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's just like, well, what's the benefit of that? All of that branding, all of that authority.
Yep.
And then, and
experience.
It was fun, man.
Yeah.
Memories.
Yeah. And it's.
So there'd be people who go, oh, I'm not going to pay like, that's too much.
Yeah.
For me, I would be like trying everything I could to make that work.
Yeah.
From a financial perspective.
Especially early.
Yeah.
Especially early. You should be boots on the ground. Learning, being in it as much as possible.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
like, you take the 7 competitors they have, like, for the last month. Like, that doesn't even, their coaching fee doesn't even pay. But you can't look at it like that.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like, if as a per week thing, you just can't look at it that way.
Yeah. But the exposure, the authority, and all of that you just said will probably blend 1 to 2 clients, which is like, I'm in profit all of a sudden. Like, I signed a powerlifting client yesterday.
Yeah, and that's how, that's
like,
it.
No
that's
surprise. You go to a fucking meet.
Yeah.
I've done 2 comps in a month, still got 2 to go.
Yeah.
It's like no surprise that now, and this is where we talk about, like, you need to be in a position where competitors are looking at clients that you've built early on as the after photo.
Yep.
They're comparing to the after performance to be like, well, you train people like me because you made someone who was a Gen Pop client good enough for a competitive person to be like, I can work with them because their lift is now better than me.
That's it. It's piquing their interest because you're on the same playing field.
Yeah. What do you think we might go over Tam, sorry. What do you think your thing as a bodybuilding coach sets you apart from everyone else?
Ooh. That's a really good question. I think I'm a meticulous planner and I'm a very good communicator. I think I could definitely lift in the communication department. Like one of my personal reviews of this season was like communication and planning was good, but could still be better.
Yep. That's what you said or feedback?
No, I've said it at a personal level.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I'm meticulous in terms of planning.
Yep.
Every decision is planned. There's not a lot of like off the cuff, type of shit.
Yep.
And then, I think breeding a mentality that it's up to them to make it work. I definitely get the most out of my guys.
Yeah.
They're hard workers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not an accident. They're all the same.
Yeah. That's got to be environment, right? Like, that's got to be, it's funny you say communication, but it's like, that's got to be the way you communicate publicly and privately with clients has to facilitate that for them all to be like that.
Yeah. Yep. I like it. Yeah. It's funny. You get this type of standard where they're like, want to do the best for them, but obviously want to do the best for us.
Yep.
And I like that.
Right. So so then we layer in team.
Yeah. They're just like, I'm going to do the best I can and I want to represent us the best I can too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like it. Yeah. So I think, my planning and I'll call it a coaching ability.
Yeah.
Because even at the show, like I could just see, you pay attention and even just like how other people were working with their girls and guys, like the way they were talking to them and stuff. I was like, I'm so much better at this than they are.
Yeah.
Just making the person feel comfortable. And even like, I got some really, really positive feedback. Like from one of my girls, she was just like, I didn't even feel like we were backstage at my first show.
Yeah.
Like you just made me feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
So she's like, that was really, really valuable for me.
Yeah. And that it's no surprise that you spent years coaching Gen Pop.
Exactly.
That when it comes to the athlete, you can turn that on.
Yeah, it's just knowing the person.
Yeah.
And amping someone up and getting them G'd for that type of shit's just not worth it.
Yeah, agreed.
It's just calm, focused. Mm-hmm. We've got a plan to deliver.
Yep.
But it's about preparation. So yeah, I guess, asset-wise, the planning, the preparation, like my guys are always prepared.
Yeah.
Posing.
Yeah, so you don't have to be worried.
Yeah, posing, all of it. It's like they're just ready. So then it's just do the job and do it to the highest caliber that you can.
Yep. I would say mine is the history of body composition.
Yeah.
It's like all my lifters look good too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And like I was going through, when I was putting out the results, I was like, 2 of them lost 7 kilos, still PB'd. 2 of them came back at the exact same weight, but their waist measurements are like 5 centimeters difference, 3 centimeters difference. So it's like the body composition element. Like if you want to work with a powerlifting coach who just writes strength programs, I was just having a conversation with a lifter during the week. I've had heaps of powerlifters come to me, and I was saying to her, like, when someone that's come from a physique background comes to me and is like, I want to do strength and physique work. Can you do it? And I tell them my price. They're like, are you fucking kidding me? It's so cheap. What's wrong with you? Powerlifters who want to come and now they want to care about nutrition and do all the other shit. They're like, fuck, man, I haven't paid that and I got a gym membership. I got this, I got this, I got this. I'm like, well, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
So I think from a skill set standpoint, being able to layer those two, getting people to look great and still progress in strength rapidly, as fast as anyone who's not doing body composition work along the way, is big.
Yeah.
And then I think similar to you, it's that team environment.
Yeah.
It's being able to go to a meet and somebody from the outside be like, you guys look like you're at home. Like, I think that's... Not everyone can create that. People obviously have gyms where that happens.
Yeah.
There's cultures within gyms, but to hire an online coach that's not in the room with you and you're not training with your team and all that kind of stuff to still make that happen.
Yeah.
Is something that I'm really proud of.
You should be.
Yeah. And then obviously the communication stuff too. It's like taking lifters that didn't even start out to want to be powerlifters.
It's so important, man.
To then be like, you got this.
Yeah. That separates the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. The communication part is everything.
Yeah.
You can't get the most out of someone without being a good communicator.
Yeah. What's your goal moving forwards? Is it Jason Galea prep coach, or is it Jason Galea physique coach?
Yeah, I still value... I don't want to burrow myself into just contest prep only. Like, I still value people who operate in a way that, you know, kind of value their physique, that just don't want to pursue the last, 8 to 12 weeks of a prep. So, because I spent most of my life doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm absolutely, like, you know, you don't have to be a competitor. You have to be someone who values your own body, you know, in the highest regard, you know, up there with the other things that are important to you. And then, yeah, I love the sport of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely wanting to, you know, kind of have multiple people, you know, per season to help, you know, get them to the best package that they possibly can.
Yeah.
But I would see myself as a contest prep coach and a body transformation specialist.
Yeah.
That would be the title I would give myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
or a body composition specialist maybe, because transformation kind of, you know, leans into, you know, overweight people trying to get in shape. I'm like, I could do that, but
yeah,
the big portion of my skill set is the training to develop a physique.
Yep.
So I want to make sure that I can lean into that. It's the thing I'm the most passionate about.
Yeah.
The programming side of things, where like an overweight person, you're like, just do resistance training and cardio.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to lean into like your first thing for the next 12 months.
Yeah, I think I'm great at that too.
It's like your first powerlifting meet, your first bodyweight squat, your first double bodyweight deadlift, your first, and more and more, your first photo shoot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think will be, I want both of those.
Yeah, I want seasoned competitors, but obviously I think us with the skills we have in coaching.
Yeah. I think inherently I'll still pick up competitors.
Of course, yeah.
Because I'll be doing it.
Yeah.
But from a branding standpoint, it's just like...
bringing people into the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I've got something coming out.
Taking people that are a couple of years into training, like, I want to do something now.